So, a very good evening to everyone. Thank you, respected judges. I'm going to be talking about the efficacy of a fixed drug combination of vildagliptin 50 and dapagliflozin 5. This is a study from my own center. So, just a slide about the unmet needs in patients with type 2 diabetes. Yes, increasing prevalence, high cost of therapy, indirect cost of treating the complications, risk of complications in our population is high, and glycemic control with all these molecules is very poor. So, a cross-sectional study in A1C management in patients with type 2 diabetes, they have seen that to initiate dual therapy, we still wait till an A1C of 8 to 8.4, and to initiate triple therapy, 9 to 9.4. Now, early combination therapy, how it works in our population, FTCs with or without metformin provide a good glycemic control by acting on multiple pathophysiological pathways while not increasing the risk of hypoglycemia, weight gain, or any other major side effects. So, what I looked at is that DPP4 inhibitors and SGLT2 inhibitors, where we both know efficacy wise they are good. Hypoglycemia risk individually is very less. Weight, one causes weight loss, one is weight neutral. DPP4 inhibitors are weight neutral, and cardiovascular benefits. No, not much with DPP4 inhibitors, but very good with SGLT2 inhibitors. We have seen across various molecules. So this was the study which we designed, and it was to evaluate the efficacy and safety of oral FDC of dapagliflozin 5 milligram with vildagliptin 50 milligram in our patients with type 2 diabetes. The primary objective was to see the effectiveness of 3-month therapy using this fixed drugs combination, and the secondary was to compare the effectiveness of the FDC therapy in different subpopulations, like categorized by the age, the BMI, the diabetes duration, and comorbidities. Again, we also looked up the effects of this therapy on the lipid profiles and the serum transaminases, and to evaluate the clinical safety of this for therapy for 3 months. So the study design was, it was an open label single center retrospective study where patients above age group of 18 were enrolled with a diagnosis of type 2 diabetes, with either newly diagnosed or who are uncontrolled with existing therapies on FDC therapy. Uncontrolled on existing therapies, but the baseline A1C taken was above 6. Now we definitely excluded patients on type who are type 1 and patients who were not administered the study therapy. Now the results, what we found was, first, this is the baseline data of the age group around, if you see compare the age group, around 67% were less than 60 years of age, but around around 32% were more than 60 years of age. If you look at the BMI, 71% were obese, 13.8 were overweight, 13.8 were normal weight, and 0.9 were underweight, and the BMI criteria were used as underweight 18.5, normal 18.5 to 22.9, overweight 23 to 25, 24.9, and obese anything about 25 kg per meter square. When they look at the pie diagram of duration of diabetes, we had all ranges. So someone who has less than 1 year of diabetes was 20%, more than 10 years 16%, 5 to 10 years was 34%, and 1 to 5 years was 27%. Comorbidities, when we looked at, dyslipidemia was around 50%, hypertension 37.6, hypothyroid 18.8% patients, and IHD 2.9. Now, what were the changes seen? The laboratory parameters seen were that we looked at two data: A1C reduction after 2 months and after 3 months, and A1C reduction after 2 months, and the population was around, in the patients enrolled, around in 100 patients enrolled, was 1.44%, and with 3 months it came down to 1.65%. With FBG coming down by 71 milligram per deciliter. After 3 months, it was around 68, and postprandial blood sugars in these patients came down by around 112 milligram per deciliter at the end of 2 months, and around 122 milligram per deciliter at the end of 3 months. Even looked at the lipid profiles, and what we seen was there was some significant changes in triglycerides at the end of 2 months and 3 months. Even in changes in LDL was seen around 19%, and at the end of 3 months was 21%, by 21 milligram per deciliter. And total cholesterol also was reduced at both 2 months and 3 months data. Subgroup analysis showed that older patients above 60 experienced comparable reductions in A1C, FPG and PPG even when compared to younger patients. So both the subgroups responded well. Obese patients demonstrated significant glycemic improvement similar to those with normal weight patients. Even by disease duration, someone who was having disease of less than 1 year or someone who was having disease of more than 10 years, this was giving good results. So the therapy was effective across diverse patient subgroups, including older adults, obese individuals, and those with varying disease durations. So the study represents a pioneer effort in evaluating the efficacy and safety of FDC of 5 milligram dapagliflozin and vildagliptin 50 milligram. It is one of the first data. When we looked up the data, there was no data with this FDC even with sitagliptin, where sitagliptin was 50 milligram and dapa was 5 milligram. So it addresses the tailored dosing, does help in maximizing therapeutic benefits while minimizing potential adverse outcomes. So the study, as we saw, highlights the efficacy and safety of dapagliflozin as a fixed drug combination. Good reduction in FPG, PPG, and A1C was seen coupled with a favorable safety profile by addressing both glycemic control and CV risk factor. It aligns with current treatment approach and offers a tailored approach for diverse patient population. And further research may be more warranted because it's a small study. We did it as a retrospective data for 100 patients from my clinic. So, rationale of for low dose dapagliflozin, vildagliptin, even dapagliflozin 5 milligram individually we all have used, and it has shown significant glycemic control by reducing side effects, especially in patients with moderate CKD. Even vildagliptin 50 milligram is allowed in patients with moderate CKD and can be used, and also we have used as an add-on to sulfonylurea, metformin, or even metformin monotherapy. So now this combination can be suited in patients who have moderate reduction in EGFR. And the synergistic mechanism, we all know that this is kind of a match made in heaven. SGLT2, DPP4 inhibitors, both are having complementary pathways, and the risk profile in terms of hypoglycemia and adverse events was less until it's combined with sulfonylureas, and the tolerability for a wider patient pool was seen if it was given as a stepwise intensification patients who may later require full dose adjustment based on the individual response. I thank you all for your patient hearing.